everyone! Welcome to special presentation with Mike and Ethan. Or,
Elf will not be seen tonight.
when we started doing this, I really didn't think I would learn nearly as much about comic strips as I have. And in the process, there have been certain ones that we've been like, oh god, we've got to find that. These are our white whales. And one of our biggest white whales, one that I don't have any hope that we will ever find, is the Doonesbury musical, which I keep bringing up because, oh my god.
Yeah. I was thinking that too. That would be amazing to see, but well, you never know because we found some stuff, or I should say, other people have found some stuff
Yes.
that have we never thought we'd see.
Yeah, like the when we did the Curiosity Shop, that was lost media, and the Scooby Doo and Weird Al special that we just looked at, and right now we have yet another of our white whales, and this one is the most relevant to our podcast yet because it is in fact based on a comic strip that ran for 27 years.
Yeah. Ethan, do you remember this comic?
I have vague memories of this comic from when I was a kid. I believe it ran in the San Diego Union or Tribune, possibly both. And it's called Kudzu, or Kudzu. I keep wanting to say it in the Japanese way.
Oh, how is it pronounced in America?
Kudzu.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
been saying it wrong too then.
Yeah. It's
I kind of thought Kudzu for some
yeah.
reason.
Well, in Japanese, you would in fact say kutsu, but
Yeah.
which is kudzu. If you don't know, is a plant that was imported from Asia and is now known as the vine that ate the South.
Yeah, it's very like it's
Where
very
you
part
going,
and parcel
Vine?
of
Your
Southern
plate's still
culture.
full.
Yeah, so it's a big thing down there. It's one of those things that is now quintessentially Southern, despite not being Southern, kind of like nutrias.
Yeah.
But
And white people?
yeah, oh, burn! I wouldn't want to be a white person right now.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, so this is a comic strip that I also remember Kudzu or Kudzu. It was, I believe, in the Washington Post when I was a kid, and I remember in high school reading. I think Doug Marlette is the author
Yes.
of this comic. I remember reading Doug Marlette's book. He wrote a book about what it's like to be a cartoonist, and he talked about coming up with the idea for Kudzu and doing Kudzu. So, and I think also kind of talking about his political cartooning career a little bit, because I believe he did political cartooning before he became a comic stripper.
Yes, I've been looking at his work on the Internet Archive, and there are a number of kudzu collections you can look at, and some collections of his political cartoons from the Clinton years. And apparently he had like a sort of love-hate relationship with Jesse Helms, who hated his liberal views but otherwise loved his comics.
Well, Jesse Helms, wow, one of our jolliest senators.
Yes. I will always
it's,
remember Jesse Helms from a joke on the short-lived sitcom Scorch. You remember Scorch?
I do remember Scorch.
Yes, there is one scene where Scorch, the dragon who is pretending to be a vent figure, is, somebody makes some crack about him on television where where the guy that he's roommating with is pretending to be his ventriloquist. And Scorch says, "Hey, we got to get Jesse Helms in here. You ever see what happens when two village idiots mate?"
Oh, he's not wrong. I mean, I know now in the year of our Lord 2026, Jesse Helms seems kind of quaint.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the demons we have in office. But like at the time, Jesse Helms was like a real piece of shit.
Yeah. Now he
Like,
looks like
he was-
he should be in the same row with George Will.
Yeah. Jesse Helms was one of those guys that you could count on to be on the wrong side of every issue. So, really exploding Southern stereotypes there. It's like, oh, did you have like who's, Jesse Helms being like one of those guys who's like your most racist, homophobic senator in a white suit. And it's like, there's Jesse Helms. And that's pretty much him. Yeah, I'm not surprised that he would like the cartoons of Doug Marlette, because Doug Marlette is a very Carolina guy.
Yes.
He's kind of like how, I feel like the relationship may be similar, and I don't know a whole lot about this relationship, but between Mike Pence and Jim Davis.
Yeah,
Because,
I mean, I've never seen the two of them together, but they seem to have a sort of mutual appreciation society between them. And
I mean, I think they both just like they're like, well, it's one of those things where I mean, I don't know their actual like you, I don't know their actual relationship or politics, at least not of Jim Davis, but I kind of imagine them doing that like, all right, Mike Pence, I don't like you and you don't like me, but we got to do this together for the sake of Indiana, because or whatever state they're both from. I think it's Indiana.
yeah, I believe it's Indiana. Yeah, because Jim Davis is from Muncie. So
Yes, yeah.
but
And a big Muncie booster, big Indiana boy done good, and apparently Mike Pence does have a bunch of framed Garfield strips because he loves that an Indiana boy has done well.
Yeah.
So, and I guess there's nothing in Garfield that I think would offend Mike Pence, which is pretty impressive when you think about it.
Yeah.
Even the dog cum strip apparently wasn't enough to turn Mike Pence off of Garfield. But anyway,
really got
Doug
to use your
Marlette.
imagination for that one. But yeah,
Yeah, that one required a little bit of interpretation. So, Doug Marlette, the man from one of the Carolinas. Is it North or South? I don't know. They're the same to me.
I believe there's a difference, but I mean, I don't. Most Americans don't know the difference between North and South America. So shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Ask Atomic Fatty Mutant. She would know. She's in one of them. But
She's from North Carolina. I remember that much.
Oh, North Carolina. Okay. The better one, because it's more northern.
Mm-hmm.
So,
No.
yeah, that's how I roll. I know that like some of our South Carolinian listeners are probably going to get offended, but I don't believe that they have introduced computers to South Carolina yet, so they probably can't hear us. We're on the magic talking box today,
I know that North Carolina has barbecue. What does South Carolina have?
Tobacco, I think.
Again. No, they have that really cool song about crashing your bicycle. That's about it.
Oh, do they? I don't know that one.
It goes, crash my bicycle in a big South Carolina wreck. I crashed my bicycle.
Oh, huh. All right, good on you, South Carolina. I take it back. I do know that nothing could be finer than to be in South Carolina with the taste of Aunt Jemima. So,
I thought that song was just about Carolina and didn't specifically say which one.
Oh, maybe I might be wrong.
Maybe Carolina is a person. Maybe it's a Vor song.
Oh, that's true. That's hot. Anyway, Doug Marlette, ladies and gentlemen.
Doug Marlette.
The man behind Kudzu.
The man behind Kudzu, which Kudzu began in 1981, and in 1983 there was a Kudzu pilot for a series. That seems really early to me.
It does, but I think it's easy to forget in the year 2026 what superstars newspaper cartoonists were in the 80s.
That's true. I mean, between Peanuts and Garfield, they were probably just signing up anyone who wanted their own show at this point. Man, we were really born at the wrong time.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like back then it's kind of like, look, if you're a newspaper cartoonist and you're syndicated, you're one of the few things that like you're probably in front of like more American, being seen by more Americans than anyone working in any other media at that point.
Right.
Because because people aren't all reading the same books and they aren't watching the same movies, but they're all reading the same comics in the newspaper. So it makes sense that like Kudzu, which was in 300 papers, probably the major metropolitan ones, that the studio would be like, yeah, sure, give this a shot. It's Uh, do you remember anything about this comic though, from seeing it in the newspaper as a kid?
The two things that I remember was that I thought the main character was the Reverend. He does seem to be like the major, the one that seems to have taken center stage, kind of like Piranha Club.
Yes, yeah. Same. I thought the Reverend was the main character, and it seems that yeah, very quickly after the strip premiered, he kind of took center stage.
Yes, but the
The
other the other major character is who does not actually appear in what we watched is the parakeet Doris.
I was gonna say that like I remember the parakeet being like a major player, and yet if you try to look up Kudzu online, there's very little mention of the parakeet.
Yeah, the parakeet who most of the strips that involved the parakeet, she was, it was just focusing right in on her as opposed to, her being part of the cast. So it was almost like a secondary strip. Was like, sometimes it's Kudzu, sometimes it's the Doris show.
Yeah, and the main thing I do remember about Doris is usually Kudzu was one of those comics where Doug Marlette had that kind of this is kind of a maybe a chickweed lane tactic
Mm-hmm.
where you literally just draw the same image over and over like 6 or 7 times, sometimes zooming in more, sometimes zooming out, occasionally changing angle, but like over the course of 6 or 7 panels, and then you just have like and you really belabor the joke. So like people will just say like, "Are you dot 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 next panel looking at dot dot dot?" To like draw it out. And I
Right.
remember that being a pretty common thing in his strips, especially the Doris ones, where it literally it was like nowadays you'd be like, "Oh, is he just photocopying the same picture of a parakeet over and over again?" I don't. I mean, I think that he actually probably was just drawing the parakeet over and over because he's like, yeah, this is um,
Yeah, I mean,
it's the fun
if
part of the job.
if Matt Groening can draw Akbar and Jeff over and over again 72 times in one comic, it's
Yeah,
this is why it's very important if you're going to have a comic strip, have characters that are easy to draw.
yeah, yeah. You'll learn that fast in this business.
Here's a Doris strip that made me laugh.
All right, let's see what this looks like. Um, yeah, let's see. So Doris, the parakeet, is thinking, now for all you insect buffs in the audience, here's my impression of a fly. And then there's a picture of she turns into a fly and thinks Buzz. And then she's a parakeet again. She says, I don't do that one often. It scares the children.
Yeah, I like this drawing of a huge hulking hairy fly where the parakeet just was.
Yeah. It's impressive. It's an impressive. Who did Doris the parakeet belong to? I feel like
I believe she belonged
Doris.
to Kudzu himself. So
Oh, okay. I feel like there was some attempt to make Doris into a Garfield type character.
yeah,
Because there was some food stuff she was really obsessed with, but I forget what
chocolate.
it was.
She's a chocoholic.
Chocolate. Oh, there you go. Um, Again, like I think, yeah. Doug Marlette saw what Jim Davis was doing. And was like, I want a piece of that.
Yep.
Like, hey, people like cats. Well, maybe they'll like parakeets. There's a lot of parakeet owners. They'll
Art there.
go for this. I mean, there are parakeet owners.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's enough of them to make a comic strip about a parakeet really do Garfield numbers.
Yeah. My mom's best friend in the '80s had a cockatiel, but
Oh yeah. Those are cute.
Yeah.
Cockatiels are good birds. Yeah, but so Kudzu, yeah, I remember it's mostly the preacher and mostly the parakeet. That's I don't remember this comic being particularly interesting as a kid. It was just one of those. It was there.
yeah, this is very. I would say that Kudzu is a not unwelcome serial piece.
Yeah, it's it's fine. It fills space and it gives you the occasional chuckle. I think as a kid I probably liked it because there was a parakeet in it,
Yeah,
and I
a
was
parakeet
kind of a
with a lot
sucker
of
for
a lot of jokes about eating too much chocolate. So
yeah, which is that's good. That's interesting. I
yeah,
just think it's interesting.
a bird is not as good as a
So
cat, but
yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Back in those days, beggars couldn't be choosers.
right, for real.
But uh, Kudzu is kind of drawn in this style that like was I don't want to say it's very typical, I think, of post Garfield strips. I feel like there is some Garfield influence here.
Yeah,
Just the fact that Doris is thinking things at us is very Garfield. Um, that's but also something about Doris's the half-lidded expression she always has also feels very dark Garfield inspired.
right. And of course she
But
does have those big overlapping eyes like Garfield and or Bill the cat.
yes, yes. So yeah, I feel like Kudzu is basically it's not bad, but it is one of those comics that never really establishes its own voice. It always does feel like, oh yeah, this is like some strips like Marvin. You always just feel like, yeah, this is kind of this came out post Garfield,
Yeah,
and you can see the influence. It's not like ones like you know, Bloom County or The Far Side or Doonesbury that like, oh yeah, this one it'll get your attention. This is its own thing. Kudzu is just like, yeah, it's there. It's like it's a little Mother Goose and Grimish, which I think is done by another former political cartoonist,
right.
Mike Peters. I'm not sure. So how many comic strips are done by former political cartoonists?
Quite a
Because
few. I
I
mean,
know
Shoe obviously, but
that's right. There's Shoe.
let's see. I mean, I think most cartoonists have a little bit of political cartooning in their history, although they don't all go start as A-list political cartoonists and then go to A-list strips. I mean,
True.
Bill Watterson did some political cartoons, but nobody remembers him for that.
No, no. Now I am of the opinion that like political cartooning is bad. I think it sucks. And I think that if there was anyone who was good at it, they would get a different job. But so good on Doug Marlett for doing that. I've never actually read any of his political cartoons, so I don't know how they are, but I'm assuming that they sucked because I just think pretty much every political cartoonist, with very, very few but notable exceptions like Pat Oliphant or Tom Tolles, are just kind of bad.
Yeah.
You know, oh, the Prickly City guy. I think he was a political cartoonist before.
Yeah, yeah. What? I mean, I thought Prickly City was a political cartoon. Maybe not.
I mean, yeah, I think it remains one for all intents and purposes. But it wasn't one of the. I mean, when I think of political cartoon, I'm thinking of one where they have like, oh, the crying Statue of Liberty, and they draw like a big, big cheese with deficit on it, or whatever, that sort of thing. Anyway,
And they have a
so I
guy,
guess yeah,
guy leaning in the window with a shirt that says "sickos." Yeah.
yeah, yes. But so Kudzu, it premiered in 1981, and by 1983 they thought it had, I guess, it had won over the hearts of America enough that they were going to try and make a TV series of it, and I guess they did not make this as a pilot. It actually came out as a special, though. So
Yeah, that's typically how specials work. Is that they when if they do the pilot and it's good but it doesn't go to series, they'll air it at least. Do you remember?
Yeah.
You remember any other pilots that you watched that didn't go to series?
I'm trying to think. I do remember one as a kid. It was a show called Wish You Were Here. It was the premise of the show was this guy was like basically like he was a Wall Street dude, but he decided to like quit his job and just like backpack around Europe. and he would shoot like videos as he was doing it and send them back to his family, and the series was his family watching these videos of him having adventures in Europe. And I remember it, like we saw like an episode, and it was like, I remember it being really funny, you know. But I don't think I think it was, and when I looked it up once, I think it was supposed to be a mid-season replacement that never happened. So there's only apparently this one episode where he goes to Hungary, and it turns out that his grandfather, who, you know, had always been like, you know, this guy who was always complaining to them like, oh, you know, I grew up so poor, you don't know what it's like. And it turned out his grandfather was like a Hungarian aristocrat. So there was some like, you know, so then it was like, you know, it's some wackiness with that. I do remember like he's like, there's this Hungarian girl that is taking him around, and her English is bad, so she's always like, all right, come on, follow my behind. And and we were all like, oh, it's very funny that she says this, you know. Anyway, but like, yeah, I remember that. I don't remember any other ones off the top of my head.
The first one that comes to my mind was one called Claws, which was basically like, okay, remember, look who's talking? What if on TV and with 3 cats instead of a baby?
Oh, I would totally watch that.
Yeah, I think I still have it on tape somewhere. I haven't checked to see if anyone else has it, but if we still have it, maybe I should see if I could upload it. I might have the only known copy.
Yeah. I feel like that's a way better premise than like a baby. Yeah. Just like, who cares about a baby? I want to know what these cats are thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't make any sense to give babies a deep inner monologue, because you'd think they'd share it with you when they grow up. But, you know, you have to assume that children have a sort of stupidifying effect when they turn 2 and can talk.
Yeah, they
actually, I think that was the plot of Baby Geniuses.
Yeah, they have that, like, you know, what do you call it? That amnesia from like their years. But it turns out it's like, it's because you actually are like smart before that. But anyway, so Kudzu.
Yes, it's a show. Actually,
it's a show.
The thing that struck me about the pilot for Kudzu was how few laughs there were. And not just in that it wasn't very funny, in that the jokes, I mean, it has canned laughter, but the canned laughter doesn't laugh very much. The jokes are really few and far between.
Yeah, like the first time you hear it, it's a good 5 minutes into the show, and I was just like, oh, there's canned laughter. Okay, I guess that was a joke. I didn't realize that. Yeah, they're really conservative with putting in their jokes in this. They're like, you know, it's like it's about 28 minutes, and I think there might be about like 8 jokes in this thing.
I mean, yeah, it's not really a sitcom. It's just kind of a sit.
Yeah, it's not very funny, but okay, it's not very funny, but it's also not very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there are things that we watch where we have a lot to talk about. This is one of those things where my nails got really clean.
Yeah. I mean, you know, here's the thing is like over the last few weeks, we've watched a lot of things that were surprisingly good, like Captain N the Game Master or Betty Boop's Romance. You know, things that we watch and we're like, hey, this is actually pretty entertaining, and I'm pleasantly surprised. So we were due for one where it's just like, oh, God.
I mean, it's not the worst slog in the world, but I mean, I feel like, you know, you could have done a lot better. I feel... You know, for one thing, it needed the parakeet.
Yeah. Well, I think like this is the thing that I'm gonna say something controversial. Okay. Uh-oh. This is that's right. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This ain't your daddy's podcast. This is too hot for TV.
Don't listen, son. I love you.
So. This show is, you know, it's, I don't know, Doug Marlette was probably involved, I'm sure. And Doug Marlette's comic strip Kudzu is known for its gentle ribbing of the South, of the rural South. It's, you know, a loving tribute to the foibles of the South. And I hate the fucking South.
Ooh.
I don't like it. I think it's a terrible place, and I don't like it, and I don't like the people down there. They talk too slow. Every time I've been down south, it's like, you're trying to talk to people, and it's like, it's like, I'm gonna get a sandwich at the sandwich store, and they're like, and it's like the sloths in the fucking DMV and Zootopia. These people are so fucking slow down there. It's ridiculous. It's like, I don't know what's up with the Southerners, and they can't talk. They just go, they go, blah, 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 blah. What is this? This weird moon gibberish they all speak down there. And if that's not enough, they're racist. I'm gonna say it. Very, very racist people. Not like us out here in California. We appreciate all colors of the rainbow out here in California, and there's never, ever been a racist incident in California because we're so accepting of people of all colors and creeds out here.
Rodney
But
who?
in the South, but it's not like that in the South. I'm just saying the reality is like they're very racist, and I've met Southern people, and what they do is they don't like being called racist. They will do anything to not be called racist, except not be racist. I remember like having a Southern coworker at one point, and we were just like talking, about current events in the news.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what the news was, and she just says to me like, well, how black people are. They instigate things. And I was just like,
What?
What? Like literally I did the boy, what? And she's like, oh, now you're going to think I'm racist. And I'm like, well, yeah.
You did the slow burn monkey puppet gif.
Yeah, I was just like, what? I was just like, oh. I was like, well, I was like, it's okay. I understand this is probably acceptable to say down south, but like here in the real America, we don't talk like that. We don't say that sort of thing. Anyway, we fought a whole war with the South because they were so racist. And after the war, they decided to keep being racist. And apparently the rest of us just have to accept this.
So, I guess they kind of won that war, didn't they? Because we didn't make them stop being racist.
I'm just saying, and like, look, I know there's good people in the South. Some of my best friends are Southerners. That's not true. No, actually, some of them are.
Actually, we were literally just talking about one. Yeah, so.
Yeah, we were talking about a fatty atomic mutant, and she's good people. I don't think she's racist at all. Yeah. But every other single person down there is. She's the exception, proves the rule. Anyway.
Is Texas the South?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, okay. Then Travis, too.
Yeah, Travis is good. Travis is good people. We'll accept Travis. But I'm saying like this, but the South, I'm very anti-Southern, and I have a broad view of the South. I consider Los Angeles to be the South. So, but anyway, my point in all this, that long tirade is this. If I'm watching a sitcom about the South, I want it to be a lot meaner than this.
Actually, that was kind of my problem with it, was that, I was pretty certain that Doug Marlette did not write this script, that it was written by, people from LA who had never been to the South, because it sort of reads like when, a 12-year-old is trying to write a fanfic about their favorite anime, and they have like the characters, going to Walmart and shit.
That's a good point. It
felt like cultural appropriation of the South.
Yes. It's like, what if you were a Los Angelino? What would you know of the South? You would probably know Kudzu, the Vine. You would know like a good old boy who runs a bait shop. You would know like a Southern debutante. You would basically know these, the main ones we get here.
Yes. And I noticed that a number of the characters from the comic strip who do not fit into, Southern roles are not here.
That's true. We do not get, for example, Mr. Good Vibes, who I think was a school counselor in the comic
Yes.
strip. Um, we don't get Doris the parakeet,
Nope.
of course.
We don't get nasal lard bottom, the whitest white boy who ever whited.
Yeah, isn't he like a big fat nerd? I think
Yes.
I remember him. Yeah. Um, I think
He's
so.
a big
Who
fat nerd
we
who
get?
wants to be black, which is
Yeah,
I feel like they looked at that and were like, "Ooh, let's leave this character out."
I think in 1983 they're like it's a little passe,
Actually, I
a
don't think
little
he'd even been
gauche now.
introduced in 1983. See, that's the thing is
Oh,
that because the strip itself was only 2 years old, most of the things that define the strip had not yet happened. It's sort of like how it's really weird to watch the Heathcliff cartoons, and you're like, "Well, where's the garbage ape? Where's Jimmy? Where's the man-eating giant? All of the good stuff from Heathcliff hasn't happened yet."
yeah, which actually, so 2 years into Kudzu's run, was Reverend Will Be Done like the main character yet, or was he still,
I don't,
part of the ensemble, or even introduced? I
Yeah,
guess.
I guess he's been introduced because we do actually see Reverend Will Be Done in this, but he doesn't dress anything like he does in the strip. In the strip, he really goes for that kind of Southern Gothic outfit with the big black hat and the black ascot and stuff. But
Yeah, he looks like a character from like a Flannery O'Connor novel.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like if he was a furry, he would fit right in with Brer Rabbit.
Yes, exactly. So instead, they just give him kind of he looks like he wears a white suit, kind
Yeah,
of. So it's like, oh
looks
yeah,
more
he
like a
does have a very
televangelist, which is funny
yeah, he's got
because
that look.
there's actually
Um,
a book, but there's actually a kudzu collection called "I Am Not a Televangelist."
I feel like I vaguely remember um, the Reverend's character from the strip. I think he's kind of he's a little bit like uh, if I remember correctly, he's kind of an interesting character because he is a little, he's very faithful, but he's also kind of skeptical of organized religion,
Mm,
and he's a little bit of a grifter to some degree.
yeah,
He's got a lot of scams he's always doing, but he seems to be fundamentally good-hearted at least. So, um, kind of an interesting fella. We don't get a lot of that in this at
no,
all,
you
really.
barely see him actually. It's very surprising considering that he completely took over the strip.
Yeah, he's there for like this one scene, and we don't really get I did not really get a sense of his character at all in this. But the other characters, I think you get pretty good senses of who they are.
Right.
We have we have Kudzu, who is main guy.
Yeah,
That's his thing.
and he doesn't even have main character energy.
No, oh my god. He's got such a fucking southern mush mouth in this that I was just like,
He's a real
this
sad
guy,
sack.
he's putting me to sleep, this guy,
Yeah. And he wants to be a
Oh my,
writer. Do something interesting first.
yeah. Well, it's just like, well, like when he's like, because he's trying to enter like a Reader's Digest contest with a story about the most interesting or memorable person that he knows, and he decides to write about my pappy.
Yeah.
And so, which honestly, as soon as he said that, I was just like, yeah, no one cares.
I was really
Every
hoping that this was leading up to the same joke from the Popeye movie, where he has a photo of him that's really just it's just a picture that a like scrap of paper that has "Me Pappy" written on it.
Yeah, we don't get any joke. We don't get a lot of jokes in this one.
No, we
So
really
no, it
don't.
doesn't.
It's like,
No.
and we've said that before, but it's still surprising. It's like it's a comic strip. I mean, every comic strip has a joke, but you didn't take any from the strip, as far as I could tell.
No, I kind of yeah, there's like, so Kudzu wants to be a writer. His mom is like, I guess she's like a kind of a southern debutante sort. She's like, she really wants to be the sweet potato queen or something. I can't remember the contest she's trying to enter. One of those southern contests that they have a lot in the South. Because I feel like this is a staple of like movies and TV shows set in the South, where like women are always like, I'm gonna be the, you know, I'm
That's
gonna win
right.
some
It's like
contests.
Miss Scrap Metal or something like that. Miss Tire Iron.
Yeah, yeah, they're always trying to enter some contest where they get to wear a big dress and the sanitized for your protection sash.
Yeah.
And, it's always like, oh, the lieutenant governor's going to be there.
The
Because
lieutenant governor.
the South is big on lieutenant governors, apparently. But, so that's his mom. She's a very recognizable Southern archetype. So she's kind of a, Steel Magnolia, Scarlett O'Hara type, I guess.
Yeah.
But she doesn't approve of Kudzu being a writer because, I don't know, it's like, probably because that's Yankee stuff. I don't know. But Kudzu decides he's going to be a
You're
writer.
going to be one of those big time one of the big time Northern writers like Tennessee Williams.
Yeah, that's the worst kind of Yankee writer, because he's also So speaking of which, now because this is set in the South, Kudzu has a black friend to show that he's not racist.
Because you have to do that in stuff set in the South, because if you have an all white cast, then people start wondering like, oh, when do the hoods go on?
Yeah, exactly. But it's okay. We have one black guy. And this is kind of, I'll just say that like a lot of 80s sitcoms, do this. They have the token black friend who his bit is being the friend.
Yep.
Kudzu mixes up a little bit because he also plays basketball, so really busting some stereotypes there.
Yeah. This kid, what was his name? Marshall or something like
Maurice.
Maurice. That's right. Maurice. Maurice's mother is actually a major character in the strip, and she's like a cleaning lady. So again, big stereotype buster there, but at the same time,
Doug Marlette.
But at the same time, it's like it's if she was. If she was a world famous billionaire bikini supermodel astrophysicist, then what would she be doing in this shitty town?
Yeah, is it established that it would be too perfect in a bad way? Is she Kudzu's maid? Cleaning lady? Does she clean the Kudzu house?
No, she doesn't. So at least
too
there's
bad.
that. Yeah, Kudzu can't afford that.
Oh, I'm actually a little disappointed because I think that would kind of make this almost interesting if Maurice was like, it's like you got to be friends with the boss's son,
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Anyway, Doug Marlette, kind of problematic, but I guess we can't hold it against him because he's dead.
Yeah.
He died kind of tragically in a car accident in 2007. It turns out.
Yeah, that was. And to their credit, the syndicate did not decide to hire someone else to be the new Kudzu guy.
Yeah, which is rare for a syndicate to do. So I assume probably I'm going to be cynical and assume it probably was not in a whole lot of newspapers by that point anymore.
Maybe not. Yeah, there was. Kudzu. After I moved from San Diego, I never saw Kudzu again. So.
Yeah, I was surprised that it was even still going in 2007, to be totally honest. But
2007, yeah. I was like, man, what kind of Kudzu jokes do they have about George W. Bush? 2007, do you think Kudzu even ever brought up Barack Obama?
Oh, man. I am, you know what? I'm going to say probably no, but I'm sure if they did, it would be so that Kudzu could assure us that he's totally fine with a black president. In fact, he would have voted for Obama 3 times if he could have.
As long as he's not in our school.
Yes. It's like Kudzu would be like, I am totally okay with that, that Kenyan, that Kenyan guy who's, that Kenyan antichrist. With his 3 stolen children and his man and drag wife, all all of these are being actual conspiracy theories about Barack Obama communicated to me by crazy people who used to come to my job when I worked with the public.
What I think is really hilarious is that everything that those people accused Obama of planning are things that Trump has actually done.
Yeah, it would be, you gotta laugh. I do remember one guy like coming in and being like, Barack Obama's going to declare martial law. And it was literally like, like a week before Trump was going to take office. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, dude, he better hurry up then, because he's running out of time, It's like, why would you wait this close to the wire? Just, but like the guy was like, he's going to do it. Just watch. And I was like, sure he will.
Did you ever see him again?
Anyway.
How was the martial law?
I know. I was like, he probably, yeah. That's a problem with these people. Is like they just make up in their heads what they want to be true. So if I met him now, he'd probably be like, "That's right. He was going to do it. He was totally going to do it." Yeah, but he didn't.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, I win.
Yeah, I win. I mean, fucking whatever. What are you going to do? Anyway. So
why do people like that go and say that to random people at their workplaces? Is it because is it because they can't argue back?
Pretty much. I mean, you're kind of like, that's the thing. America, our mental health system is terrible. But if you're ever feeling like in a bad place, go into any local store or restaurant, any place where there's like a service person, because they're legally obligated to listen to any bullshit that you say. So you basically get a free therapist. Or you can just yell at them.
Yeah.
And treat them like shit. What are they going to do about it?
Get another job? Where are they going to find that? In America?
Yeah. Maybe, go into your local, go into some, I don't know, McDonald's or something, and just yell at the employees, because they're not real people. They're there for you. Well, the protagonists of reality.
What are they going to do? Go to Minnesota and become paid protesters? Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, that's good work if you can get it.
Yeah. Man, I wish I could do that.
Yeah, for real. George Soros, if you're listening, our
DMs are open. Slide in, George.
You know what? I mean, I feel like you would find two more enthusiastic paid protesters than us. But anyway, Kudzu. So Kudzu is now, the whole point is he's trying to find out about his pappy, his long lost pappy, who supposedly died in doing missionary work overseas.
Do you think he was boiled in a cauldron? Do you think that's what his mom said?
Yeah, it's just like a New Yorker cartoon.
Your poor pappy, he went to do good missionary work in the New Yorker and was boiled by cannibals.
But it turns out that might not be true, because everyone is very cagey about telling Kudzu the truth about his heritage. His Uncle Dub doesn't want to talk about anything. Uncle Dub being the guy who runs Dub's gas station, I guess?
Yeah, it's a gas station / antique store. I guess this is kind of a southern thing?
I guess. I've seen
gas stations that double as gift shops, but not antique stores.
Yeah. So it's... but this is where we are introduced to a couple other characters. One of them is a character I do not like. I hate this character. I hate this character so much. And I can't
guess who it is, because they're all terrible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're all pretty terrible. No, I hate this one. I hate this character every time she appears in any television show. And that is Ellie Mae, or Janie Mae, or Mary Mae. I don't know what her name is. Something with Mae, because she's Southern. Or Betty Jo. I don't know. And her role is, she's the good girl.
Right.
That, that has, no personality. She's just there. She's there to be the good girl,
Just throwing herself at Kudzu, and he's just not paying attention.
Yeah. And Kudzu, because Kudzu is not interested in her, Kudzu is interested in a different girl, Veranda Hackmeat, I think is her name.
Veranda Hackmeat? I don't think
Something like
something like that.
um,
Let's see.
something like that. Her name is Veranda, and I actually really like that her name is Veranda.
Yeah,
I think that's
Veranda.
very funny.
Okay.
It's a great name because it sounds very southern and very bimbo, and that's what she is basically, you know. Um, but she's basically like a bimbo. She's a bimbo, and she's the one that Kudzu likes, and um, and I'm kind of but I here's my thing, right? We the audience are supposed to dislike her because she's hot and she doesn't like Kudzu. She is not interested in him, and I don't think either of those things are failings on her part.
No. I think those are perfectly reasonable things.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be interested in Kudzu either. This guy is a real pant load. He's God, he's so annoying. Like she comes in, she wants to do like she does like I guess she's like a prancing majorette or something, and she's
Yeah,
doing
she
like
does like baton twirling with fire batons.
yeah, and they'll act like this is really stupid and like again like oh a dumb thing for a girl to do, but it's like that's actually like pretty cool that she does fire batons,
Yeah.
um, that's like badass and requires some skill. And but like Kudzu is like, because Kudzu is like, could you love me even if my father wasn't like a famous missionary? And she's like, yeah, I don't give a shit. And it's like, yeah, she's correct not to give a shit. She's busy. She's got shit to do, Kudzu.
Yeah.
Get off her fucking back. Um,
Now, now about the other one, about Ida May, I didn't
mhm.
realize that was who that was supposed to be. Because here is what Ida May looks like in the comic strip.
Let me take a look. Oh, yeah, that is a very different type of character.
Yes, for
What the
one thing,
fuck is going on here?
she is enthusiastically throwing herself vagina first at Kudzu. And also, she sort of vaguely looks like a Far Side nerd.
Yeah, she looks like Dilbert.
Yeah, she really does look like Dilbert. So
What
here
what
is
is
a
this hairstyle?
yeah. I can't tell if she looks like if Dilbert had a baby with the pointy-haired boss.
Oh my god, that's exactly what she looks like.
So here's a strip where she has talked Kudzu into going on a date with her, and she's saying, "You know, Kudzu, I'm getting sick and tired of you guys treating me like a whole person, respecting my personhood. I see the way you look at me, dressing with me with your eyes. Listen, I'm more than just a mind, a pair of frontal lobes. I'm a bod, too. When will you men start growing up and treating us like objects for a change?"
You know what? I like the comic strip version of her a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta say that like her character design is kind of baffling, but I do really like her horny nerd persona.
Yeah.
One second, I think the cat needs to be fed. Yes, come in, bring the cat in.
Come in, horny nerd.
Come in, come in. What's going on? There she is.
Trying to not let Jasper.
Okay, come on, come on. All right. Anyway, so yeah, so I really like. So I kind of like Ida May as she appears in the comic strip. I feel like a horny nerd is a more fun character than this kind of like I don't know this very colorless like girl next door thing they're doing with her in the TV show.
Yeah. They it feels like they didn't know what to do with a horny nerd. I mean, I guess, but, if you're an LA writer, you can probably just look in the mirror. But
Yeah, for real. But I guess they were like, oh, we gotta have like, we gotta set up this like love triangle type thing for,
they're trying to do a Betty and
reasons.
Veronica thing, but that only works if Betty and Veronica are friends.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't
In this
think
one,
Ida
like,
May and Veranda really even know each other.
no. It's implied that Veranda is like, is kind of aloof. But again, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't really, I wouldn't, listen, if I were Veranda, I wouldn't hang out with any of these people either.
Right.
They're incredibly boring. You know, they suck. What do you talk? Kudzu is just, and plus Kudzu is like, Kudzu is just like kind of self-absorbed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's
but I
more
guess it's
interested
okay.
in me.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, oh, we're all like, Veranda's so self-absorbed in a bad way, not a good way, like Kudzu, because he's a boy, so he's allowed to be. But
He's entitled.
whatever. Anyway. So wait, is this Maurice's mom here?
Yes, she actually works for Veranda's family.
Ah, okay. Because they're rich so they're rich in addition to being dumb.
Yes.
Huh. Well,
I'm not sure I understand the punchline of this, which is Maurice saying, my mom's been working for the Tadsworth family for as long as I can remember. Boy, is she lucky. Lucky. Yeah, imagine. She probably knows Veranda better than anybody. And Mom walking past the stairs with a load of laundry, and a voice yells down from the laundry, Maisie, bring me a toothpick.
Well, I guess the joke is like, yeah, it's not all it's cracked up to be working for the,
bringing her a toothpick
family.
is one thing, but no, it would be, I feel like they didn't push the joke far enough. It should have been like, Maisie, I need you to pick my teeth.
Yeah, it would have been funnier then. Though I do like the idea that where Kudzu is like, oh, she's so lucky she gets to know Veranda. It's just like, yeah, it's like, because it's like, oh, Maurice, your mom, because clearly your mother is also horny for Veranda, just like I am. So she would enjoy her in exactly the same way. It's like, okay, sure, Kudzu, sure. You know what? I'm seeing more and more. I see why the Reverend kind of took over this comic.
Yeah.
Because I don't like Kudzu. I don't like this kid. He's fucking annoying. He annoys me, and I think he's I think he's Doug Marlette's like Gary Stu, honestly.
Yeah.
I am concerned about this next comic though.
Yes. Here is one where Maurice is wearing a tour guide hat and saying, as dusk settles in over bypass, let's pause and listen, shall we, for the traditional mealtime call of the mamas. Supper time! Joe Bob, Maurice, Tyrone, supper's ready. Elizabeth, I'm going to take a switch to you, child. Now move! Like her Jewish counterpart, the Southern mama has her ways of communicating with her offspring. And then there's a beeper. But this is not a Jewish joke. This is something we've established, is that Kudzu actually wears a beeper so his mom can call him.
Huh.
And Maurice finishes his tour with offering an infinite variety of expressions of motherly concern. At which point his mother says, and this is a direct quote, "If dem biscuits gets cold while you run in your mouth, you be dead meat, Jack."
I'm not going to cancel Dear Departed Doug Marlette over this comic, but 1981 was a different time.
It sure was.
And the fact that he has Maurice's mother both speaking and looking like Mammy Two Shoes.
Yeah, she does.
Definitely a different time. But I'm kind of interested in a couple things here. This mention of the Jewish counterpart to the Southern Mama, which is interesting because it's kind of saying like, as you know, there are two kinds of mothers who call their kids for dinner: Jews and Southerners. No one else does this.
And never the twain shall meet. There are no Jewish Southerners.
Yeah, it's just I'm just trying to figure out like I kind of think I understand what's happening here. I think it's kind of like, oh, Jewish mothers. That's a staple of comedy.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, if you've talked to anyone who's Jewish, they love making jokes about their mothers. It's not even, it's not even like a your mama joke. It's a my mama joke. It's like, what is what's a Jewish mother's favorite 9-letter word?
What is it?
Eat, eat, eat.
Yeah, accurate. So I feel like what's happening here, I feel like Doug Marlette was like, clearly you, the audience, are familiar with Jewish mother jokes. We all are. Those of you who live in the big city are familiar with Jewish mother jokes. Well,
some of you may have a Jewish mother. I'm not going to.
Oh, sorry.
Some of you may, in fact, have a Jewish mother, which technically makes you Jewish too. So
that's true. Yes.
So l'chaim.
But Doug Marlette is like, I am from the rural South, and I am going to introduce you to Southern culture in this gentle ribbing way that I have. And here in the South, we also have mothers, and this is what they do, just like the Jews who live amongst you in the city. So it's almost like he's trying to establish that, like, the joke by relating it to something that the reader would already be familiar with. Being like, yes, it's like a Jewish mother joke, but it's a Southern mother joke. It's similar. So it's kind of a weird thing, but I think I get where this comes from. The other weird thing I want to point out is the fact that this comic is from when? The mid 80s, I believe?
Yeah. These comics that I'm sharing with you come from the collection Even White Boys Get the Blues, Kudzu's first 10 years. So they're not all from like 1981 or 83. There's a bunch that talk about George Bush.
I am going to say Even White Boys Get the Blues that is a fascinating title. There's a lot going on there. I'm not sure what to make of that. Again, not canceling Doug Marlette, but just interesting. An interesting choice, I guess I'll give him credit for not shying away from commenting on race, as it would be easy for a Southerner to do, and probably more comfortable. Just ignore race entirely. He is acknowledging race. And again, it was a different time. I think that in the 80s, it's a different time. Yeah. But this beeper, okay? I think it's fascinating that Kudzu has a beeper, okay? Because in the mid 80s, two kinds of people had beepers: doctors and drug dealers. Yes.
Are we both from the 80s? Yes.
Yep. In the 80s, it was if you were brought into court and you had a beeper, it was like presumptive evidence that you were a drug dealer. So it's interesting that Kudzu has a beeper, is what I'm saying. Wow. It implies something about Kudzu here that I don't think Doug Marlette was trying to imply.
Well, maybe that's why they call him Kudzu, because he's known for something green and leafy.
Oh! I wonder if there've ever been any drug jokes in Kudzu, but probably not, because it was the 80s.
Yep. You could not make drug jokes in the 80s, but only during the 80s. That was why you didn't hear from Cheech and Chong for 10 years.
Yeah.
Except for the Corsican Brothers, which apparently nobody liked.
Oh, I like that one.
Oh, I've never seen it actually. Actually, I haven't seen any. The only Cheech and Chong movie I've ever seen is It Came from Hollywood.
I mean, they're all basically the same. Yeah. They're all like, hey, we're smoking weed here.
Dave's not here, man.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, oh, man, it's so funny that, like, they smoked weed and now they're stoned. They are silly because they took the weed.
Man.
All right, now
let's reboot. Okay, let's do a public domain version of a Cheech and Chong movie with Rarebit.
Oh, it was the Rarebit. Yes.
Dave's asleep, man.
Okay, so what is this other comic here? This is one with our Reverend Will Be Done.
Yes.
It looks like.
where he's interviewing someone on TV, and he says, "My guest today is Brother Jerry Fallout of the anti-smut group The Legion of Just Plain Folks. Brother Jerry, I hear your bunch has really made some progress lately." "That's right, preacher. We learned to walk upright recently, and we plan to hold a book burning just as soon as we discovered the secret of fire." Look out.
You know what? This one's actually pretty funny.
It actually is.
That I like this because you know what? This actually displays a little bit of wit. I like that it's he basically tells a joke in the third panel and then continues building on that joke in the fourth one.
Yeah, it's very foxtrot.
Yes. This is the kind of joke that almost feels too good for Kudzu, you know? Like it's the sort of joke that you would see in a foxtrot or a like not in a serial piece comic, but like this is I like this. It's a multi-part joke. It's commenting. It's a little bit more barbed than our usual Kudzu fare, but that's good. This is good. All right, I take everything back, Doug Marlette. You can tell as many jokes about Jewish moms as you want, because now I'm feeling much more magnanimous after reading this one.
Boy, he was really obsessed with Madonna. Man, I am finding so many strips about Madonna.
Well, I mean, you have to understand, in the 80s, she was kind of a big thing.
Yeah, she was.
It was like in the 90s, everyone was doing Britney Spears jokes.
Right. Yeah,
and then the aughts, it was Paris Hilton,
Was there one for the 2010s? I think I missed it.
Snooki. Oh, yeah. She's part of that, like, Jersey Shore type thing, isn't she?
Yeah, it's always good. You always make these jokes about people who are famous for being famous.
Yeah. And it's like, whoa, why are they famous for being famous? Well, because you're talking about them right now. Mm-hmm. But comic strips have a long and venerable tradition of being like, who current slut woman. Let's make comics about how we don't like her.
Who is it for the 2020s?
Who is the slut of the moment right now? I feel like there's so many.
Is it Grimes?
I feel like
no, it couldn't be Grimes.
I don't know. I feel like it's hard to pin one down because since the culture has fractured so much, we don't all know one slut. It used to be everyone would know the same slut, and you could just be like, "That's the slut we don't like. That's the that's the one we're going to shame." But now, I mean, there's so many of them. It's like, some of them are slut shaming Billie Eilish.
What am I thinking? It's Melania.
And some of them are slut shaming Melania. Melania, though, she's not just like she's not just a slut, because she doesn't dress very slutty is the thing.
No.
So she gets a pass that way. I think what's her main thing? She was in a movie, wasn't she?
Yeah, they just made a movie about her that is it seems to be this year's Cats.
Oh, wow. I mean, it makes me curious, but I'm not going to go pay money to see a Melania movie. I already paid money to see the fucking Silent Hill movie. You're not getting more cash out of me. Yeah. But anyway, Doug Marlette, ladies and gentlemen, good for him. He's telling Madonna jokes. Yeah, actually, I guess is there anything else to say about Kudzu?
I don't know. Oh, well, we kind of forgot it. We got so wrapped up in the comic strip, we forgot about the actual show. Which what we learn from the show is that eventually it comes out through a misspeaking from Uncle Dud that Kudzu's dad did not die as a missionary. He just left. He just up and left.
Yeah. And Kudzu is real sad because he's been abandoned by his pappy.
Yep. And he decides to give up being a writer and commit to being like a gas station attendant or something.
Yeah. Well, good for him.
Mm-hmm. But then rooting through his stuff, as he decides to get rid of all of his writing stuff, he finds stuff that he didn't write that his dad wrote, and it's poems and songs. And it turns out his dad is actually a pretty good writer, or at least a pretty good writer by the standards of a pilot sitcom that didn't go to series.
Yeah, so I guess everything's solved now.
Yeah, he comes to the conclusion that he doesn't want to give up writing, but he's going to give up on writing this particular essay. An essay about the most interesting character. Now, it never specifically said that it had to be a real person. So I'm imagining like the winner is going to be someone who writes an essay about my ninja half caveman half robot with a bear trap for a head or something like that.
That would be very funny. Honestly, it would be a really funny end to this if like Kudzu did the story with his dad, and then someone was like, someone did win with like, yeah, my ninja pirate monkey character or something, and Kudzu's like, oh, I didn't know we could just make stuff up. But yeah, so that's the end of Kudzu, and never went to series. What could have been.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think if they had waited until 1991, when the South was a big deal because we had a good old boy for running for president, then, if they had ridden the wave from Bill Clinton, then I think they would have done a lot better.
Yeah, people were really into the South at that point. But in 1983, I mean, I don't think Southern culture was really that. People weren't really into it.
No, that was the yuppie era.
Yeah. People were too busy watching Family Ties to, and Growing Pains. They didn't want a show about like hillbillies. This is post-rural purge, so I can't say I'm surprised that this never went to series. I'm glad it didn't because it sucks and it's boring. And they didn't even give the Reverend his hat. So who cares?
Sometimes it's not worth harpooning that white whale after all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how can we not be disappointed by that Doonesbury musical if we ever get to see it?
Well, apparently there was a Kudzu musical.
What?
So, yeah, Wikipedia mentions the existence of a Kudzu musical as well.
No way.
Let me just take a look here to make sure that I am not hallucinating this thing, that I did in fact see that there was a Kudzu musical.
You're right. Kudzu, a Southern musical produced in Washington, D.C. in 1998. Huh. Well, what the? In Kudzu, the South faces itself.
Apparently, and that was 1998, so that is what, Clinton years, I think?
Yeah, he was, yeah, it was, wasn't 1998 the year that they did the big, the big government shutdown and the whole Monica Lewinsky thing happened?
Oh, yeah, everyone went to go see the Kudzu musical instead. Yeah, so maybe someday we'll get to see the Kudzu musical.
Wow.
Because it's got to be more interesting than the TV series.
Yeah. Do you think the parakeet is in it?
Probably not.
No.
Which is a real. Hopefully they learned their lesson from this this boondoggle of a show and put the parakeet in it. But I have a feeling that they didn't.
The logo makes it look a lot more interesting than I think it is. It looks like a Southern fried version of Little Shop of Horrors. I could get into that.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is I remember this picture.
Oh, really?
From the Doug Marlette's book about cartooning. He actually had the same picture in there because I remember all the characters running away from a lot of Kudzu Vine. I don't know who most. I assume that the guy. Okay, I assume the guy in the hat back there is Uncle Dub.
Yeah, he looks a lot slimmer now. Most of the Uncle Dud stuff, he was way chunkier than this. But I guess they didn't want people to mistake him for Nasal Flabmeyer or whatever his name is.
Right. And I mean, I see the Reverend, I see Maurice and Veranda and Lard Bucket.
Yeah.
And I assume the woman with the bun is Kudzu's mom.
Maybe. And also there seems to be Mario circa 1983.
Yeah. Who is that?
Who
That's
is
a character
that?
I don't recognize.
Just some guy. It was like I was trying to cosplay as Mario and then the Kudzu attacked.
I'm trying to figure out also this Hari Krishna with a tuba.
I think that's a character who regularly kind of butts heads with Will Be Done.
Makes sense. And then we see I think that's Maurice's mom in her maid outfit in the
Yeah.
back.
And there's some kind of old
Um,
hound dog. And
yeah.
somebody dropping a cigar as he gets devoured by the greenery.
Yeah. So this I vaguely remember this. I think from like I said, Doug Marlette's book. The other thing that I remember from Doug Marlette's book is he does kind of go into like talking about like his idea for Kudzu and how he like created the genesis of the comic strip, and he was very in that book. I remember him being very like gung ho about how Kudzu is just like all of us, man. He's like an everyman. All of us have a little Kudzu inside us, and I kind of remember just being like, yeah, okay, whatever, man.
Not me.
Yeah, I just remember being like, you know what, man? He's like, I created a character with no personality, so you can all, just identify with him. Not very interesting, but like that's why everyone likes the Reverend better.
Yeah. I think I'll say it, better cartoonist Bill Watterson said that specifics are always funnier than generalities.
He's not wrong. The one other thing that I do remember about that comic, sorry, not comic, but that book, is that Doug Marlette did talk quite a bit about his time as a political cartoonist in it, and illustrated it with some. He illustrated the book as well, and I remember him talking about going to some like political cartoonist conference or convention in Washington D.C. and flying back on the home, and I think like Mike Peters was like fall down drunk on the plane or something. So maybe not Mike Peters. I forget which one it was. One of those guys,
Jim Davis.
It was, yeah. So anyway, but Doug Marlette, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Pouring one out for the last of the real ones.
Yeah. One of the we have an unfortunate kind of wall of memories of cartoonists who we lost before their time that we've done stuff with. So Kudzu goes on the wall with Free for All.
Yeah. I will say I feel like Doug Marlette met with more success in life than Free for All. So I'm glad that he
Free for All went to series, but
True. Free for All again remains a very strange saga.
Yes.
And if you haven't listened to our Free for All episode, why not go listen to it? Because
go listen to the Free for All episode. It will break your brain on some of the same places that are still healing from the Sinfest episode.
Yeah.
And if you haven't listened to the Sinfest episode, well, you're probably not listening to us because most people find us through the Sinfest episode. But go listen to the Sinfest episode.
Go listen to it. We know you all want to know what the fuck is going on with Sinfest, and you can get it from the people who know Sinfest best, who know Sin best, who know it best, who understand the mind of what's his name, the guy.
That guy. What's his name?
That guy.
Mr. Sinfest.
Mr. Sinfest. Mter Fest. He's like,
Uncle Sinfester.
Uncle Sinfest. Yes. What is that guy? Oh, Toyota.
Yeah.
Kichira Toyama.
Yeah. I was kind of getting conspiracy theory about him, not really being Japanese, but it sounds like I was barking up the wrong tree there, according to a lot of his fellow cartoonists. But
yeah, I think Mae Dunn of Real Life Comics may be one of the only people who has actually ever seen him, and she said that he is actually apparently Asian. Okay. So, so that is all we know.
And he's been going by that same name since 1996, since it wasn't cool to pretend you were Asian online. Not like now. Yeah.
I mean, it's a weird thing that he's like, when he found, if you realize that he's actually like, Japanese, and it's like, oh, why do you like, white supremacy? That's weird. Why do you like pagan, Norse pagan Nazism. This seems like an odd thing, but I mean, historically, Japan was like, yeah, let's ally with these racist supermen in a well thought out alliance. This will go well.
My theory is that he has
there's
a
precedent.
backwards thing going on with, how people watch anime and they're like, well, how come all these Japanese characters are drawn white? So he just assumes that Japanese people are a kind of white people.
Yeah, what? He's probably not wrong, because I feel like if you talk to most racists and you're like, okay, explain like the hierarchy of what is a white person, like it's going to be insane. They're going to say something like, well, Japanese people are basically white because I like anime, and they're very like, they're like, smart and industrious. They have that low cunning that like those rat people have a low cunning, so they're honorary white people. But like they'll also say things like, but the Slavs, that they don't count. They're not white. It'll get weird. They get real weird where they'll be like, the French are white, the Spanish are not. The Italians are white, the Swiss are not. Like things like that. It just gets bizarre where it's like, oh, okay. Also, like, they'll just, I mean, right now it's kind of getting very weird because like our current white supremacist like guy in charge, like it's a very weird thing where they have this like this like Aryan Nation project, but they're like, but we need some tokens to make it look not like racist, so we have like that weird like, I think he's Indian Indian guy who runs the FBI, and there are a few other like, there are a few other tokens in this administration, and then they have this weird thing where they're like, we have to like in order to like have some sort of like enough people to do our thing, we have to make Latinos white, but at the same time we also want to like put them in gulags, so it's kind of like they can't really decide what they're doing here. Anyway, that's why I think the project is not going to succeed. So, which is good. So, fingers crossed on that one.
Every racist says racism. Whiteness stops with me. Everyone in this group is not white but myself, and then they get excluded themselves, and they're all shocked Pikachu face.
Yeah, it's very much like the Oh No comics. But yeah, anyway, the good news is I think that this whole racist endeavor won't last. I think we're going to be done with it soon enough. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
And
then we can go back to brunch, finally.
We can finally go back to brunch. And we can go and read these delightful Kudzu strips about Jewish and Southern mamas and how all the ways that they're alike. Bridging the cultural divide between Jewish people and Southern people. And possibly black people in there. Not really sure what's going on. It's a rich tapestry what's happening in this Kudzu comic. Yeah. But you know what? I feel like
if you're Jewish and Southern, like say David Cross, well, I'm not going to say half breed.
I think I'll say this about Doug Marlette. I feel like reading these comics, his heart was in a good place.
Yeah.
It's
not his fault he lived in the 80s and 90s. At the time, these were very advanced, progressive thoughts.
This was how you were woke in the 80s, I mean, literally, I think it really was. And it's interesting reading it now because, like, it's not offensive. Like, I read this and I am not offended. I don't feel like he was saying anything poisonous. Reading it in good faith, I can't like see anything wrong with it. It's just like the culture has changed so much that it gives me pause when I see it, because I'm like, oh, that's odd. It's an odd thing to say. But you know what? Once we're done with Trump and we're into woke 2, we're going to be bringing back some of these Kudzu type, the Kudzu type of wokeness. So, it's going to be a time of we're going to make fun of the book burners for not standing erect.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, Kudzu.
I just uploaded a picture where the Reverend is showing off his t-shirt with a slash symbol over the devil that says Sin Busters.
Okay. Several things here. Is this the entire comic that was published that day?
That is the entire comic.
I love this because A, what is the joke? But B, the Reverend is so pleased with himself. And C, everything about this Reverend and the way he is drawn here, I look at him and I'm like, oh, this looks like a Cenobite just appeared in my room.
It does. It looks like fucking Butterball.
Yeah, like what is going on here?
But did Butterball find Jesus?
It's a little late, man. Oh, Sin Busters. Good for you, Reverend. I guess. Boy, his ears look weird. He's got like dog face ears.
Yeah, what is he? He looks like a Beagle Boy.
Yeah. You know, the Reverend also has very weirdly shaped glasses. Now that I think about it,
Actually, he looks a lot like Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
God, look at his gigantic ham hands.
Oh
too.
my God! His hands, each one is as thick as. Oh wait, actually, that's normal. I was about to say it's as thick as his nose, but my fingers are about as thick as my nose too. Oh wow, that's a
Yeah, but
but my nose isn't the size of a watermelon.
In real life, neither your nose nor your fingers are that thick. Well, I'm glad these sins have been busted.
Yes, Sinfest Busters. That's us.